This ninth and final phase of answering the call to do more with your life is about the unexpected results that happen when you let go of trying to control results. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the eternal source of motivation that I've discovered. This process of answering the call to do more with your life started off in phase 1, where I talked about connecting with the deep sense of dissatisfaction in my life. I believe if you're experiencing that deep sense of dissatisfaction, that it means that you're being called to do more with your life. It's not a natural thing to want to connect with that. The natural way that our human mind works is we want to ignore it, we want to soothe it, we want to make ourselves feel better. So I know for me, I lived in a sense of denial for quite a long time. When I connected with this sense of dissatisfaction, I realised that it had been an undercurrent of my life for quite a long time. But I'd been very good at coping and being busy, and actually my life was pretty good on the outside. I didn't really have any major complaints. There was nothing that I could really complain about, but I wasn't satisfied. And I realised when I did connect with that sense of dissatisfaction that I had been ignoring it for a long time. And it was a scary thing to do. It was a scary thing to really almost stare into the abyss and to recognise that this feeling was going on. But it was important to do that because in doing that, in connecting with that sense of dissatisfaction, I had to do something about it. I couldn't stay with it. I had to take actions to change it. And that's what started this whole process. The really significant moment for me, which I've spoken about many times before, but it is just so, it's so pivotal. I was sitting in a traffic jam on my way home from work one day, and this deep sense of dissatisfaction just overwhelmed me. On the run up to that, my brother had died like 9 months before. This was in the September of 2006, and my brother had died in the January of 2006. So after my brother had died and that big crisis in my life, I'd carried on and got back to work and got back to normal life, but something was not sitting right. That experience of losing my brother really helped me to connect with that dissatisfaction. I wasn't happy with how my life was, and that there should be more to life. There should be more to life than this. So it was really important for me to connect with that. And as I said, when I did that, I had to take actions to move forward. And that is where this whole thing started for me. Now, 14 years later, how's that working for me now? I spoke in the last video about my period in France and how I was faced with these two old friends of mine that I thought I'd got rid of, so low self-esteem and lack of confidence in my abilities, and how I managed to translate those weaknesses into strength. So that was all part of the process too. But the other thing that's happened for me on this path is that I have really connected with my intuition and really connected with what is meaningful to me in life. I realised that what was happening before, that even though I'd created this, on the surface, good life, I'd been falling into this sense of expectation that I thought was out there. This is what I thought you had to do in life. This is what I thought society expected of me, to have a career and blah, 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 all that stuff. So I'd fallen into that and it wasn't satisfying me. So in order to break away from that and create a life that was meaningful, I had to break away from what I thought was expected of me, and I had to really connect with what was meaningful and important for me. So that was what really essentially I was able to do through that process of connecting with this dissatisfaction. And I have a very strange relationship with expectation nowadays. I don't like it. I don't like the kind of the energy of expectation in my life. If I feel like I'm expected to do something, I will deeply question that, and that's just become my natural way. Sometimes that can get in the way, and sometimes it can create insecurities, but actually I think on the whole, it's helped me to get to where I am now and to do the work that I'm doing. And how this works for me now is that I genuinely wake up every day feeling inspired. I genuinely wake up every day feeling like I'm ready to embrace life and to find out what's going to come from it and to develop my work and to follow this path that I'm following. Now, I didn't know that a life like this was available. I didn't know that it was possible to live like this. For me, this is something that I hear those amazing worldwide coaches talk about. These people are purporting a life of positivity and wonder and amazement and success. For me, I guess this is my definition of success, is waking up every day feeling inspired and ready to go. But I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that, I didn't think that's what life was about. But that's essentially what I found. Now, the life I've managed to create for myself, I've not used an alarm clock now for maybe 4 years, something like that. And that's such a relief after so many years of being feeling like a slave to the clock, waking up to that clock. Oh, what time is it? What time do I need to get up? How much time have I got to get ready? How much time have I got to get to where I'm going? Now that's a kind of a wider aspect of how I've managed to develop and structure my life. I don't need that alarm clock anymore. But the other aspect of that is that I don't need that kind of jolt to get out of bed in the morning. Well, at the moment in this weather, must admit, I do stay in bed a bit longer. But, for me, this is much more a natural and fulfilling and rewarding way to live, just to sort of tune into the energy of what I need and not be so governed by the clock. And that's such a relief. And and that kind of intrinsic source of motivation that I've found for my work and being totally inspired by my work is really a part of that, because I don't need anybody to encourage me. I do work with a coach. I work with a coach regularly, and of course I would do because I'm a coach myself, but it's not like I need anybody to push me. I don't need anybody to help me set goals. I've talked about my relationship with goals before and how I don't like them. I believe that setting goals actually limits us because we can only set goals based on our imagination. But I don't need that. I don't need that push. I don't need that motivation. I don't need that, this is what I need to do today to get to there, because I wake up, I'm inspired, I'm connected with my intuition, I'm connected with what is meaningful for me. And that is really one of the greatest outcomes that I've experienced from this process that I call answering the call to do more with my life. Now, I just want to say, I don't want to make it sound like I'm living this dream lifestyle. Well, I suppose I am living this dream lifestyle, but I'm a human being. I have ups and downs, and I still have really difficult days. But it's a different experience for me. I do know how better to look after myself in those difficult days, but I really believe that it's a natural part of the human existence to have ups and downs and to feel highs and lows. And in a way, I kind of embrace those highs and lows, because without the lows and without the difficulties, I don't believe I would fully appreciate the good times. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm living this kind of perfect life, because I'm a human being, and life is not perfect. It's not about perfection. It's not about that for me. For me, I want to be human. I want to have that fully human experience of the range of emotions, and I do embrace that. So what I'm saying is that because I live a life where I'm kind of intrinsically motivated, it's not perfection, and it's not about that. I still have days where I feel really crap. I have days where I feel really low. I have days where I'm lacking energy. As I said, I know how to look after myself in those days, and a lot of that time is about kind of going inward and looking after myself. And sometimes for me, because of the way I operate, it's closing myself off from the world and taking stock, and particularly closing off myself from social media and all the expectation I feel in that environment. But the work I'm doing now, essentially the project particularly that I'm doing now around self-doubt, is something that is deeply meaningful to me. And I'm at a place now where I can't seem to get it out quick enough. I want to be at the end of writing this book. I'm writing this book right now. I'm enjoying the process of writing this book. I'm reminding myself to continue enjoying the process of writing this book rather than trying to rush to the end, because I won't be here again. So that's kind of where I'm at. So in the next video, I mentioned social media there, and I do have quite a strange relationship with social media and an environment where I feel a lot of expectation. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my next video, about the effects of that and what I do to work around that. I'm also going to talk about the need to prove myself and how that works now within this process. So I hope you will join me for that.